It's game week. The Cleveland Browns play the Kansas City Chiefs this week. We're going to talk about that game. We're going to talk about everything we learned during training camp. And to help me out, because you know it gets difficult out here to talk all this Browns by myself, I'm going to bring in one of my good friends here, GBUSH from 92.3 Fan. G, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling good, feeling great. It's game week. We've been waiting for this a long time, my G, a long time. And we in the building. Let's go.
We're rubbing hands like Birdman in anticipation for this game. Prime time against the Chiefs. Ooh, don't get much better than that.
That 4 o'clock kickoff in Arrowhead. The Jets flying overhead. The
Loud.
ghost of Steve DeBerg. Them boys is out here. We ready to go. I always liked Arrowhead for some reason. It just gives me the chills, bro. I like they got grass. I didn't like the turf before, but I didn't see Derek Thomas get his money off out there. I like it. It's a prime time game and the Browns is here.
And it would be a great atmosphere to make quiet, hopefully, right? But a lot to talk about getting into this game. But G, let's first kind of go over what we've learned in the preseason. I want from you one guy who has been your biggest surprise of camp and one guy who has been your biggest letdown of camp.
Oh, this is easy. It's kind of cheating. I could go a lot of different places with you, but for me, the biggest, I will probably say the biggest dude that really came with it and surprised the hell out of me is the dude that everybody else is talking about, Malik McDowell. Mm-hmm. The dude hasn't played. You've been in jail. He hasn't played snaps. He hasn't done none of that. But if you go back, watch, there's a clip running around on Twitter. I'm sure we all seen it by now. But he's manhandling people. Like in terms of the double teams and in terms of the aggressiveness that he's playing with, he's out here karate slapping people in the face, taking names. He's not playing with nobody. He's like he plays the aggressive style defensive line that I like. It's a reckless abandon, and he don't care for offensive linemen. He look like he allergic to him. He made this roster by being angry, showing effort, and being a monster. So I was totally surprised. I knew what he was about, but we talked about it before. We talked about it off camera. It's hard to be out of the football for a certain period of time and ramp yourself back up, because for every year you not playing, your body goes through that. You turned into a civilian. So you got guys. It's a little difficult to do. And what coincides with that is one of my most disappointing guys. I can give you two guys, to be truthful. Mm-hmm. One of them is Andrew Billings. To me, as a guy who once again didn't play football last year because of the COVID situation, he looked out of shape. He looked out of shape. And I know how it is. People think because you big, you automatically strong. No, bro. People say, "Oh my goodness, GBUSH, you're a big dude. You're 6'5", 280." I said, "No, this is a civilian 280." Like that civilian 280 is different from grown man. I've been lifting weights and tossing linemen around. Billings can be big, but you got that civilian weight right now. You got to get back, get in shape. I got to have way more, hustle. I got to have more pursuit. And people don't get it. What makes Aaron Donald, and don't get me twisted, I'm not comparing those two on nobody's planet, nobody's universe. But what made Aaron Donald so good is his pursuit. You can't run away from Aaron Donald. He will track you down from the back. He can run down the line. He can get a pursuit angle on you. He's just relentless. I didn't see that from Billings. He need to lose about 20 pounds. And to me, I think McDowell is going to play a lot with Malik Jackson in there with that defensive line. So that's one guy. And another guy, not because I didn't really put him on the list, is Grant Delpit, because I don't think he can play. I just think that I just wanted to see what he can do. I wanted to see if he can prove to be out there like Greedy Williams and just make it through training camp, right? So Greedy made it through training camp. Salute. It's a long year, 17 weeks. So those two, I would have liked to see Delpit, but it looks like he's trending in the right direction to play against Kansas City.
That's all going to be interesting to see what happens versus Kansas City. Somebody I think is going to be really interesting to watch, JOK. You got your other guys John Johnson in there. They're going to have their hands full with Travis Kelce. What on the Kansas City offense, and there are plenty of things they could do on that offense, but what is the thing on that offense, or the player or the tool on that offense that gives you the most concern for this Cleveland Browns defense trying to, get its first game together versus this Kansas City, number
It's
one offense?
the smoke and mirrors. When you look at it, Tyreek Hill, yes, Tyreek Hill gets open deep. Yes, he does have that threat. But when watching Kansas City and watching them a lot, in the preseason and even going back to last year, one of the things they do better than anybody else is they keep your eyes at different levels. So it's always a sleight of hand. They're always running a jet motion, right? They're always running some sort of stuff to keep your eyes at a certain direction. They make your defensive ends have to cover certain things. They always threaten you with multiple options on the stuff that they do. But their bread and butter just stop. It happens and it stops with Travis Kelce, because Kelce is the guy who really kills you. You don't get beat by just Tyreek Hill often, right? I mean, it's hard for a smaller dude, as fast as he is, to really be dominant vertical when he has to go up and get some 50-50 balls if he's going to be able to do that. That's not his game. But Kelce can carve you up in the middle. Kelce can have a game where it's 13 catches for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. And every time you hear Nance and Romo, it's Kelce again. He's open. Kelce for 10 more. The boy Patrick Mahomes is really heating up. You're like, bro, is we gonna stop Kelce over the middle, bro? He's just walking on us. And that's the thing that kills teams, is them third down conversions over the middle where he's just by himself on a linebacker. And hopefully the Browns have a little bit of talent to be able to cover that with their skill set with JOK and some of the packages we can get into.
Yeah, that package is going to be interesting. I'm really interested to see, this is the football nerd in me talking. I know you're going to love this, G. But, when we talk about like covering the Chiefs there, right? I was talking to a guy who covers the Chiefs there. He was like, I think the Browns should probably come out on a lot of dime, a lot of very light personnel. And I was thinking, I was like, that there is a experimental personnel that they're more than capable of putting out there that I would be intrigued to see, where you can kind of have a hybrid, nickel dime look, where you can have a dime amount of DBs out there from a nickel package, and that's just by, let's see if Grant Delpit can play out there at strong safety or free safety, wherever you want to put him back there with Ronnie Harrison. Have John Johnson be that sub linebacker. He's done that before in LA, and then put JOK right next to him. You don't have a single slow guy in that back seven now. And I think you can, then you can also throw Greedy out there as an extra DB, I think, in that kind of alignment. And it opens up so much of what you can do. And I'm wondering if that their ideal of how they're going to slow down Travis Kelce is they're going to try to get physical with him, with the bigger linebackers, or are they going to play the finesse card with them and think that they can't play back with it? I'm intrigued to see what Joe Woods unravels on us and drops on us when it comes to that personnel, because I think they have been being a little coy with these personnel packages and what they're going to put out there. Because, again, remember, in the offseason, right, it was hybrid. It was versatility. That's what you heard coming out of every single signing, every draft pick. Versatility. What have you seen from Greg Newsome? Inside, outside, playing the slot and the outside corner position. So I think once we get to the season, we're going to see them, getting some really interesting packages. They've teased it. And I was talking about this. They have multiple guys on every level that can line up somewhere. You think they're going inside, they're going outside. Malik McDowell, right? You can put him inside, he can rush outside. Myles Garrett, we know how fast he can get from his A to his B. We know how he can split the deep offensive line in a second. And if you have a package out there where you can put 10 guys on the line of scrimmage and just have Patrick Mahomes have no idea what kind of look he's going to see, that's the stuff you can kind of take advantage of. Now, 10 guys is a little much, but like 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. But, you can do a lot with those UFO different types of packages, because you don't give away what you're doing, but also, you you could have a surprise blitz, JOK off these blitzes. Like, I am just so intrigued to see what they could do with these different personnels. Do you think I'm just getting overexcited about these
Nah,
things, or do
you
you
want
think
it.
it's a possibility?
You want it. You want it. See, I done already came up with a code name for it. This is that Greyhound package. This is the Greyhound package. You got your, you got the dogs out there. These is the athletes. You want to get upfield. You want to rush. The Greyhound package is devastating because here's what I'm going to do. I'm putting Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney in a 2-point stance. I want them to be able to do a lot of things, and I want them to be able to hit their stunts running. I want to set up two steps upfield. I want to run the text and the twist. I want to run a scissors and a cross action with either JOK, Rodney Harrison, guys Delpit that can really that are good blitzers, confusing the defense. You know what I'm saying? Those are the different things that I want to run. And when you talk about this little Greyhound package, I'll tell you what, you got speed everywhere. You got 3 safeties in the game. You got two guys that are your linebackers and JOK that are quote unquote linebackers. Plus, you get an opportunity to see Newsom. You got Troy Hill out there. You got Denzel Ward out there. You got Greedy Williams out there. You got John Johnson out. I just named 6, 7 dudes that like jumper routes. These guys are ball. These are ball hawk type guys. And I think when they come out, because make no bones about it, Kansas City gonna come out and they're gonna do Kansas City. They're gonna be ready to go. They fast tempo. Because here's the thing for me. They have to be able to get out early on the Browns. Like you said before, you can be down on the Browns if you want. But if you get to that fourth quarter and you down double digits, 10, 12 points, that's rockabye, baby. It's a wrap on that. So I expect them to come out throwing the football, but I also think the Browns are going to have something ready for them. And I think that's one of the specific reasons you did not see a lot of Delpit. You did not see a lot of Troy Hill. They kept them dudes back because they needed that type personnel to rock in the first week.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see how they line up. And you brought up an interesting point, right? We're going to shift gears to the offense. And we have a pretty good confidence in Cleveland, right? Where, you know that offense is going to be good, right? You got Chubb, Hunt, you got, Odell coming back. But I also think that we're so confident in its ability to be good that we might be underselling how good it could be, right? Because Baker at the end of last year, inarguable, he was playing at a top 10, almost like top 5 level of quarterback. And when you look at some of those efficiency splits that he was doing last year, and then he did finish overall with the top 10 year, both in QBR and Pro Football Focus grades, if those mean anything to you. Again, QBR, people trash it all the time, but every time there's been an MVP winner at quarterback, he's been a leader in QBR. So it lines up. Right. It's one of those stats that line up. But I do think the Pro Football Focus grades kind of line up with the quarterback position at least. But when we look at this offense, and I think we were talking about this off air a little bit, but if Odell and Baker get that thing going, we already know Baker and Jarvis are pretty lethal together. We know what Baker can do with Rashard Higgins, to Jonathan Peoples-Jones, as much as he's been improving during camp. If that passing game gets, let's just say, as lethal as that running game, I don't think people appreciate how much more of a problem that is for defenses than if the running game is running on top. Like Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, a lot of defenses would prefer the Browns have 2 1,000-yard rushers than 2 1,000-yard wide receivers, because if those two are having great years, if those two are moving the ball efficiently down the field, and if Baker is not throwing interceptions and just throwing touchdowns, it becomes impossible to defend them when their offensive line is this good and they can run the ball this well. Like, we were joking, but it's like, hey, if that's how things are going, we can get into a lot of these games where the Browns go up 14, and that might just be it for the whole game. If they go up 14 early, it could be it, because then they could just run the ball. The defense is going to be good enough to play off that momentum. And then you can get looser with the defense. They can start blitzing. You can send Myles Garrett loose. Like, just that alone could just become an avalanche that teams cannot come out from.
Yeah, to me, I always in my mind think of something. I say, Nick Chubb had 800 yards last year, and for the most part, they struggled some to with very loaded boxes in the first part of the year. when Chubb went out of the game. You look with that injury, you got Kareem Hunt that was running the football, but he still ended up with 800 yards. I look at this team as a candidate, and I don't want to just throw hot takes out there. I'm not a hot take guy. I literally believe everything I'm saying. I think the Browns may be in for a 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Like if you can get Nick Chubb with 1,000 on the ground, if Kareem Hunt is one of the backs in the game closing out games, he may be able to get 1,000. If Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry are healthy, I legitimately both think they can get 1,000. Now you say, how many footballs is it? How are these people getting all these footballs? He got to think about it. If they stop in the run, there's going to be a lot of big plays. They may not necessarily, Jarvis and Odell may not get the touches, and they may not have 90 to 100 catches apiece, but you can end up with 75 to 80 catches between the both of them with over 1,000 yards, especially if you throw them deep, especially if you got guys wide open and run after the catch ability. I think those guys could all end up with 1,000 yards and make this one of the most prolific offenses since the greatest show on turf. And I'm not just saying that. I'm coupled with the offensive line and the way Stefanski calls plays, I don't think that's hyperbole. I think they can literally get that off.
Well, I'm excited. But that's really all we have the time for today. G, thank you for coming on and previewing the game with us. I'm so excited for the season start. Let them know where to find you.
Definitely, man. You can find me, first of all, on 92.3 The Fan. If you guys are out there, my show is every single Saturday, 8 to 12. You can also catch me on the Browns pregame show with Anthony Lima, Ken Carmen. I will be on 11 o'clock to kickoff. Check me out every single Sunday for that. You can check me out on the Barbershop page as well on YouTube. Check me out there and subscribe to the channel. And also, definitely go ahead and follow me on Twitter at GBUSH91.
Definitely check him out, especially on Saturdays, especially before the Browns kick off. Ooh. Oh, man, you hear his voice, then you hear Jim Donovan's voice. Oh, boy, let's get ready to go.
Mean.
I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Have a great week, and have a good